Hi sewing friends, I hope you are doing well. Look, I've got my little cowboy boots earrings on. I always get compliments when I wear these earrings. I absolutely love them because they're just fun. Like, I wear them when I'm at work and I'm wearing like a black top, black jeans, like really basic, and then I got my little cowboy boots on that I absolutely love. So, I hope you are doing well. In today's video, I just wanted to jump on here and kind of like give my thoughts on this, as I do. But I kind of want to talk about how like sewing impacts like our relationship with clothes and also like bigger picture fast fashion and sustainable clothing and whatnot. So you might have seen, oh, before I even forget that, if you guys are liking these videos, make sure to subscribe because I love producing them, obviously. And also I love getting feedback on them. So if you guys have any feedback, make sure to pop it down in the comments and subscribe because I love growing this online community and these longer forms of YouTube videos where I'm just gonna pop you down a little bit. There we go. So basically, right, I've reclined now, it's casual. I started this YouTube channel at the start of this year, and one of my first videos was Start Ugly because I was like just finding my feet on YouTube, didn't really know what I was doing, but love talking about sewing. And so like I've started to build a bit of a community on here, which is lovely, but the way I like doing these videos is that I can do one a week. That's manageable for me at the moment. And what I love is that if I wasn't me and I was just getting into sewing, I just want a sewing best friend. I just want someone to talk to me about sewing. I want to sit down and, you know, just try out some sewing techniques while listening to someone who talks about sewing. So, or like, you know, as you're making dinner, there's like a couple of YouTube channels you just watch while you do a certain task. Like for me, when I'm cooking, I like to watch like engineering videos like Mega Structures and Bigger and Biggest, the original OGs. My favorite ones is like icebreaker videos, like ships going through ice packs. But anyway, we digress because like obviously we do because I'm talking. But I hope you guys are enjoying these videos, so make sure to subscribe if you do like them. I try and do a video every single week, but of course life happens, doesn't always happen, but I try. And that's the main point, and I'm trying to stay more consistent. So 2.5 minutes in, nearly 3 minutes in, she gets to the actual point. Good one. So, so today I wanted to talk to you guys about how like sewing is an element of fashion, essentially, and like how it's moved within the last couple of years that I've seen just on social media. Because for those of you who follow me on Instagram, which is probably how you found this one, is that I've started a series that I absolutely love. It's called Sew, Don't Throw, and I'm so happy with that title. I thought of that in the shower. Literally, I absolutely love showers because I think of the most amazing ideas in the shower, right? So this concept came to me in the shower, sudsing my hair and whatnot, scrub-a-dub-dub. And I thought of this idea for a series called Sew, Don't Throw, a little mini series where I upcycle, recycle, resew what I already have in my wardrobe instead of throwing it out, to show that by sewing your clothes and repairing your clothes, they can stay in your wardrobe for longer and out of landfill. So basically, like in the last couple of, well, really within the last, I would say 2 months-ish, definitely within the last month. Let's go with that, 4 weeks, there we go. Definitely within the last month, I've been putting a lot more fast fashion content and kind of showing that sewing can be a way to extend the life of clothes you already have, regardless of where they've come from. So for example, the Sew Don't Throw series, and also highlighting different elements of the fast fashion industry, not only the consumption side, but also the production side. So for example, like I put out a whole bunch of reels like showing how your clothes are actually made, so like the sweatshops and the forced labor and whatnot, because it's 2024. You would have thought that sweatshops were like such a early 2000s thing. They're not. They're still alive and well, or alive and very unwell and very bad. But it's basically putting that image in your face in a way that's not like, basically I want to bring this element of fast fashion to the forefront and go, if you do not agree with this, there is an alternative. So that's kind of what I'm working on. And through that, I've done like different things like drawing attention to the labor impact on it, but also drawing attention to what is actually in our clothes. So for example, what is in our clothes, and also like how they're made, planned obsolescence. I've done a video on that. You can go check it out. What is in our clothes as well? Because polyester, right? Listen to this. Polyester is not a fabric, it's plastic, right? Polyester is not a fabric, it's plastic. You are wearing plastic. And I don't think a lot of people know about that. Like, it's, you know, I live in a bubble where I'm surrounded by sewing people and crafts people and whatnot. But I don't think the general public know that polyester is a plastic. It is a byproduct of the oil and gas industry that is the biggest global polluter in the world, right? Then it's agriculture, and then it's fashion. It's the fast fashion industry. So, and 50% of all garments made in the fast fashion industry are made from byproducts of oil and gas. So, like, they're all interlinked. And as soon as you start delving into it, and that's another thing, I like to present it in a empathetic and a considerate kind of tone of voice, to not blame anyone in particular, either the people for buying it in lower income households, or the people that are trying to do better in the industry. Because I do know that there are lots of environmentally friendly and eco-friendly and sustainable fashion choices, but economics is always a factor, as it always will be. Anyway, so drawing more attention to the statistics that go into the clothing, I think allows us to develop a bit more of a realization of what is in our clothes. So, all that to say that, you know, sewing can be the more sustainable choice. Now, one thing I do want to address is sewing your own clothes is not the only sustainable choice, right? It is a step in a marathon of a journey. Because I'm sure, this is the thing that I will get to and I will defend forever and always. Polyester thread. I sew with polyester thread. I sew with Gutermann polyester thread. I know I am sewing with plastic, but let me talk to you about this, right? So, when I sew a garment, regardless of what the material is, I want it to stay together. I want it to actually, you know, hold up over time. And the best way that I currently know how to do that is use a polyester thread, because it is very robust and it's durable. So I always use Gutermann polyester thread because also their range of colors is really big. There is also a cotton alternative. However, a lot of my garments I've had in my wardrobe for 5 to 10 years, right? And it's very rare that I have to repair stitch lines because of snapped thread, because I use a polyester thread. So the cost of the environmental impact of the thread, I think, is worth the price of sewing my own clothes, if that makes sense. So in saying that, there are heaps of ways that you can actually start repairing what you already have. So linking it back to the Sew Don't Throw series, for example, I started to realize there are things in my wardrobe that I'm not reaching for, that aren't getting worn as much, because they either have like a ripped seam or whatnot. So starting to show that you actually can sew your own clothes. And regardless of whether or not I sewed them in the first place, you can easily repair your own clothes. Like, it's so simple once you know how to do it, once you know, but you start to take more ownership of what you own. And once you start repairing it and taking care of it, then first of all, you put values on your values. So you've taken the time and the effort to repair this thing, to which then it goes on to stay in your wardrobe for several more years without you having to go out and buy another one. So in saying that, I want Forward Wardrobe to become a space that type of action is celebrated, because I think previously it has been branded as frugal or very unnecessary, because you could always go and buy another one. Whereas now, and I know you've seen this, under consumption core is trending on a lot of social media platforms, because I think people are starting to go, hang on a minute, I've got so much that I don't use or don't need. And I definitely think we saw this happen start of 2020 when that film Minimalism, or The Minimalists, came out. Two guys that basically stripped back their lives and they were happier than ever, knowing that they weren't tied down by material objects. And I definitely think that's seen a massive rise in the last couple of years. But now it's starting to come over to social media more, in us glorifying what we already own. And for us as sewists, I think we take it to the end of the line in like making our own clothes. But I think by making it approachable for other people in repairing their clothes is also extremely useful. So, lots of different aspects there, but I think follow through thread is literally starting with what you've got. So for example, if you've got a pair of jeans that have like a little, scuff mark, or they're starting to come undone at the seams or whatnot, just by taking the time to repair them saves them from being discarded or not worn. Because, how many clothes do you have in your wardrobe that you don't wear? I think that's also an important aspect of it, because, for example, I know that in summer, I like to go on a walk in the mornings, right? And I don't like to take a bag with me. So having a pair of pants or a skirt or a dress that has pockets that I can put my phone and my keys in is going to get worn nearly every single day that I go for a walk, so that I don't have to carry my stuff, than something else in my wardrobe that doesn't have pockets. So what I did with that is I made sure that everything I made going forward has pockets, because pockets, and also the garments that I currently have in my wardrobe, I then went and added pockets to them. So just by actually seeing that the things that I reach for are things with pockets, get worn more. So just by doing that, and then because I sew, I can put pockets in and it's easy for me. But, if you're someone who doesn't know how to sew and doesn't have a sewing machine, that seems very out of reach for you. But I would say that just starting the process of educating yourself on what I can do, and I'm definitely reaching for stuff that has pockets more than the things that I don't have pockets in. Then when you do buy something, even in that step, realizing, hey, I reach for things that have pockets, means that I'm not going to buy something that doesn't have pockets because I know I'm not going to wear it. I think that's also an easy step that somebody who isn't a sewer or doesn't want to learn how to sew or whatnot can take to make their garments actually get worn a little bit more. Went off on a tangent there, but the things that you need to learn how to sew, to just start repairing your stuff, is literally a needle, or in this case, several, and thread. Literally, that is it. Like sewing on a button, hemming a top, repairing a tear, all of it can be done with these two, and it's literally like $7. And learning the skill of sewing can change the way you see your clothes. Because also, what I've noticed is as soon as you repair something, you want to show it off a bit more. You're like, remember how I tore this last week? Like, look, I've mended it. And every single person that I tell about sewing and whatnot, you know, they've always got a story of, oh yeah, I had a coat that missed a button and I just found a random button in my house and I sewed it back on and now I wear it all the time. You know, sewing is a life skill, and putting that life skill into work is so rewarding. So that's kind of like a general spiel. Yeah, and it's that road that I want to take 1 million people on. So if you don't know, I want to teach 1 million people how to sew through online sewing courses and social media and like a bunch of different things. And I know I'm going to do it because there is so many ways that is personal to someone that wants to learn how to sew as to why they want to learn how to sew. For example, I wanted to learn how to sew when I was younger because I saw the movie The Parent Trap, and the mum in The Parent Trap was a wedding dress designer. And I was like, oh my God, I want to be Elizabeth James. Like, I need to be her. Literally, I needed to be her. She was my muse. Anyway, but like a lot of people now are coming into sewing because they want a textural hobby. They have clothes in their wardrobe that they want to upcycle, recycle, and thrift. And also they want to have something of their own as a hobby that is also fulfilling for them. You know, and also stepping away from fast fashion. And, you know, there's so many avenues that people come to it, and there's always a way through it with sewing. So for example, if somebody wants to learn how to thrift and upcycle their clothes, there's plenty, you can do that. And then also with a hobby, you know, the mindset of coming to it with a hobby mindset is start ugly, self-improvement, you know, creative outlet, all of that. And then also sewing is so great because there's an element of doing and end result, you know, which I find quite cool because you enjoy the process, but you also enjoy the end result. It's like baking, I think, because you enjoy the methodical step by step, but then you also enjoy the loaf of bread at the end. So that's the way I see it. I love it and I want to share it more. And if you've got nearly 20 minutes into this video, I hope you enjoyed it because I talked for quite a while, went on a few tangents, but I hope you guys liked it. In these YouTube videos, I also linked the blog that I kind of base these YouTube videos off down below. So if you enjoyed this, you know, YouTube video, but want to hear it more concisely, there's a blog down below, link. And if you are new to sewing and you want something to kind of guide you through the early stages of it, I do have a beginner learn to sew course that you can get on my website. It is the course I wish I had when I was learning how to sew. Legit, it is the course I wish I had, because there are so many different avenues to go down when learning how to sew. I just wanted a step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, like literally that is it. And there's 21 videos that I filmed for this course. It is extensive, and basically you can get started for like $2.15 a day. It's brilliant. I absolutely love it. So 20 minutes in, live la vida loca and learn how to sew. I'll see you guys later. Bye.